If you got the bulls and bears, chances are you're going to get that for free. And if you end up getting it later on, that could be nice too. Don't hold me to that. Not positive yet. Not until we release, but it's looking that way. So if you have open your advantage lines and you don't see fire and ice or different formulas, that's right, you don't. That's because we're still working on it. We're always adding features. It's something we just seem to do non-stop. So, all right. Anyways, up here at the top, advantage lines, period 1, period 2. We're using 5 and 10. Advantage lines is based off of moving average theory, but it is not moving averages. Okay? If it was just moving averages, you could come over, chart overlays, go to moving averages, and put the price bars inside the chart to create buy-sell signals. Okay? But it is not the same creature. It is our own spin on it, and I think you'll like it. I do. And if we want to go through and fine-tune it, go ahead. Come into the advantage lines. We've got 5 and 10. We could fine-tune it quite a bit. Let's see. Now, if we're using just the advantage line signals by themselves, we could use it to get in and out pretty quick, spot the retracements, and then try and get that signal a lot sooner, much earlier, excuse me. And if we're still using it to pair up with my other signals, my KST and bulls and bears, getting it earlier is not a bad idea. However, at the same time, I'm going to save these as my default. Now, TNT default, you'll notice that we were getting our advantage line signal later in the moves. Okay, right here we got it at the same bar as the KST. Here we got it after the bulls and bears. So we're getting them a little bit later in the move. If we drop this down to 1 and 10, okay, we're getting them quite early, actually. All right. Now, you might get some whipsaws here, but if you don't have the other signals right along with them, it doesn't matter. But if you get them just before your batch of 3, then you can still use that and get in sooner. So think of it this way. TNT default. If we're using all 3 and pairing them up, okay, that means that on, let's see, give you a good example. Just using my ruler bars to drag back and forth. All right, here's an example right here where we got 3 signals, KST, bulls and bears, and advantage lines. And advantage lines signal came in right here, which means we would have gotten into the market to go long right at the open of the candle that follows, right? Because you don't get the signal until the bar closes anyways, so you'd be getting in at the open right here. Now, if I go through and tinker, adjust my advantage lines, and I'm going to drop it down to something smaller, say 210 or 110, and I'm going to center this back up. Okay? Alright, so we were back here. I set my advantage lines to 1 and 10, and now all of a sudden, instead of getting my advantage lines arrow right here, I'm getting it way back here. It's actually a nice early signal. We still wait for the confirmation, and instead of getting open at this, getting long at this open, we're going to be getting long at this open, which means that we're going to have a better fill price of, it's like $625 on this E-mini contract, and if we want to, we can even take a look and see how much that is in ticks. Okay, that's a full 50 ticks earlier entry into the move. Okay, I'll take it. That's what I would do. So I go through and I tinker and I just fine-tune it, basically just figure out what works for me. So if you're going through, have fun with it. All right. The defaults really are good. That's why they are the default. But at the same time, I fine-tune it for any market I open. It's just the way I prefer to work. I might as well have the signals earlier in the moves, best spot I can get. I actually look through the chart, see how it works, and then go from there. All right. Some other fun tricks to use. Okay. I've been going through and just looking at this myself. Okay. I've just been going through and eyeballing where my settings are and what I'm getting, which is all good and nice. But at the same time, we could have this all calculated, researched, looked at, all within about 2 seconds. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the autopilot, and I'm going to tell it to trade with the bulls and bears and the KST. Oh, by the way, autopilot, little picture of a pilot's head right here, and this is a backtesting and live auto trading system. Okay. If we told it that we want to trade the bulls and bears with a conditional of the KST, and we're going to say that we'll take signals, let's see, how about 6 and 6. So I'll take a bulls bears signal, but only if I have a KST arrow within 6 bars before or 6 price bars after. I can use this reference, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'll even make it 7. All right, and then I'm going to drop down, and I'm also going to say that, you know what, I also like my advantage lines with them as well. How about we make it the trend? Okay, we're going to give it a directional bias. Take a look here, and we notice that the advantage line signals are coming before all the others. because I told it to. So what I'm going to say is I'm only going to go the direction that my advantage lines is pointing as well. Okay, so all three paired together, I have to have both the KST and Bulls and Bears arrow pointing the same direction within 7 to 6 bars, and they have to be pointing the same direction as the previous advantage lines signal as well, all paired up all in one group. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to this lower section down here, and I'm going to open up the autopilot, and I'm going to tell it, let's see, it's going from 6/1 of 2010 to, we'll say, going into next year, so this just keeps updating as we go ahead. All right, now again, I didn't do this before our class, but just going through here, we can see that just using this strategy, we're looking at a 41.7% win, looking at 20% gain on a $50,000 account for a total of $10,000 profit loss, just using this as it is right now. Okay, I haven't fine-tuned anything. All right, I haven't gone through and set up my exit strategy, stop loss, my profit-taking orders. I haven't put in filters for a thing. All right, and really the first thing I would do is I'd change the start analysis. Because as I showed you before, as we're going back, I'm not necessarily liking these old signals. Okay, they're just a bit of a mess. They could actually be all right. That works. That actually worked. Maybe I will let it go back a ways, but I'm not going that far back. I want to actually have it in a market that I would really trade live, and I wouldn't dare to trade it at that earlier stage. So what I'm going to say is that we started trading, or we start our analysis, our back testing. Okay, I'm going to start from today, and then I'm going to start going back. We'll say, how many months? We could go back to February, January. I'd probably go somewhere around January, or actually I'd probably go something later. Honestly, I wouldn't go that far back. March is probably the farthest back I would go, but I'm actually going to try and just back and forth. All right, so here's what we got. AFR trading daily charts. Okay, this is the same as you would do on a 60-minute, any other time frame. You're going through, you fine-tune, you pick out your system. But 3 months, let's see, going back to March, that's where it really starts to look a lot better, really. Let's see. We stopped getting as flat of price bars. Liquidity and volume is picking up. Price bars are trending better. I probably still want to start somewhere closer to mid-March, but we'll put it right there. And we'll say that if we'd done this, 4 round turn trades, we'd have won 75% of the time, 3 winners. So the only loss we would have had was for 237. We have a couple of repeat winners, 1 really big winner, and we would have taken a total of $8,500 with just a quantity 1 trade on a $50,000 account. Okay. Another fun way to look at it, since this is E-mini, not a full, you would probably be trading with close to around 5,000. Okay, and quantity 1, you wouldn't necessarily want to go over that, and maybe you wouldn't even want to do with that little. But $5,000 trading quantity 1, did this for what? 6 months? No, much fewer than that. 5 months. We would have made a gain of, looks like about 139% gain on the $5,000 account. Okay, the percent gain is all based on how big your account is. If I tell I have $5,000 traded quantity 1, then I more than doubled my money. Okay, if I would have been trading a $10,000 account, okay, but I've been trading a quantity of 3. All right, now we're looking at 257% gain on that same amount. We can drop down and take a look and see how much we would have risked on this, and take a look. Backtesting, it won't lie. It won't sugarcoat the truth. How about that? Okay. Right here, take a look. Our first buy for 3, we got margined out. Okay. We actually took a profit still, but we still got margined out. Okay. 10,000 with 3, you don't have enough. Next trade, lost $112. We still got margined out. Third trade, also margined out, but it bumped up our profit, $1,231. So in the end, we end up going up about $2,000. And then we placed another trade, quantity 3, and we had enough balance, enough margin to cover it, and now we're still just going along and looking at a huge percent gain. But this isn't viable. This isn't realistic. It won't work. You can't have trades getting margined out every single day and expect to win. So you'd never trade a quantity 3 for that size of account. So if we drop it down to 2, okay, trading quantity 2, we're still getting margined out. Okay, it's still not viable. Drop it down to 1. Keep it something legitimate, something that's realistic. Okay. And I wonder I hadn't looked over here before. Now that's interesting. Take a look here. With a trading quantity 5,000 before that I was talking about using, those first 3 trades were still margined actually every time. As soon as you hit the close and you start hitting your margin change. You can check all your margin changes, by the way, right over here, key tab. Okay, if you open that up, you can come in here and check your initial margin versus maintenance margin, day margin. All of that's going to be right there. Okay. So looking at this, the back testing says you did great, but it also said you got margin every time. If you hadn't hit it just when you did exactly the way you did, it never would have worked. You need more account balance, or else you can't trade it. Okay. It won't lie. It'll tell you just the way it is, and it will certainly tell you if you go broke. Okay. And if you do, the system isn't going to work. Anyways, let's see. Any other questions? I'll actually just chat those back. Anything that comes in. I think I'll wrap up for now. It's been fun. By the way, these little tricks, tips, matching up advantage lines, bulls and bears, KST, just things that I found. I've had fun with it. Try it out in a demo account. See if it works for you. If it doesn't, then you can laugh at me. Doesn't matter. To each his own. Pick out what works for you. These are fun things that I like to do. You go to the next cubicle over here at Gecko Software, and they will swear by the pitchfork. They will say that, draw on your Andrew's pitchfork. It's going to spot your levels, and as soon as you see a specific break, above or below your time, then go ahead and place in your trade, and the rest is history from there. And other people are going to tell you that your 1, 2, 3 or ABCD retracements, that it is definitely the way to go. And if that's the case, then you need to come in here and draw out your 1, 2, 3 tools. 1, 2, 3 for your retracements. You put in your 3 to 4 projections, and you add in your projections going forward, and it's saying, on this move, 1, 2, 3, retrace down 200%. Wasn't a good retracement, doesn't really work. This market's been crazy. Anyway, so let's see, Don, how can I get a hold of you for a lot of questions? Excellent question, Don. You're more than welcome to give me a call. Although, be sure to do due diligence. Help menu, video tutorials. If you're coming in, the first 4 questions are exact same 4 things covered in the very first video. I'll tell you to watch the video. But if you have a lot of questions for me, just give me a call. I'm more than happy to help. I really am. Go ahead and give me a call. Number's 1-800-862-7193 and extension 3, and I will write that in for you if you would like it typed in. And you can also reach me at help@geckosoftware.com. Feel free to send me an email. If you want to make sure that it's me that replies, say "Attention Jeff" in the subject line. I'll be sure to reply to it personally. But again, that's number is 1-800-862-7193 and extension 3. Don't ask me about pricing. I am your mechanic. I can tell you how to fix it, adjust it, tinker, have fun with it. If you have any questions about pricing, call the same phone number but extension 2, and they can tell you anything about that. So I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've had fun. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll stick around for a moment, chat back any questions that have come in, and we'll see all of you again next time.